If you've ever felt bullied, if you have ever felt like you are being pushed around and guilt tripped into things, I want to let you know it's time that you start standing up for yourself and speaking your mind. Now, you don't have to do it in a way that's argumentative, that's yelling or bossy. You don't have to do it in a way that's emotional. But you have to get to a place in your life. You have to stand up for what's right for you, whether people understand it or not. You know, there's going to be people in your life that they love you and they care about you, but they don't respect you. You've maybe made mistakes in the past and they've seen you fail and fall down too many times. So they don't trust you with certain things, and they're always like looking over your shoulder. Oh, we got to make sure she doesn't mess up again. We got to make sure he doesn't fail at this thing again. But what these people think of you should not have any bearing to the decisions you're making in your life. Look, if you're doing what's right for you and you're making the best choices you know how to make and you feel good about it, you've prayed about it, you have peace about it, whether someone else gets it or not, that's none of your business. And if you've got people in your life that are bossing you around and telling you what to do and pointing out your failures from when you were a child or when you were a teenager or 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're saying, well, remember when you did that thing? Look, you're gonna have to stand up for yourself calmly and kindly, and you're gonna have to say, you know, I appreciate your concern. It seems like you really wanna make sure I do the right thing in this situation, or I'm, you know, living a certain way that's gonna be helpful or successful. But when you point out mistakes I've made from the past, that does not help me right now. You have to know that my growth game is strong. I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm doing self-help, I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm going to therapy, I'm self-reflecting, I'm journaling, whatever it is. You're going to get into deeper levels of self-discovery. And when you get into those deeper levels of self-discovery and prayer and having God answer you and reading the word, you're going to discover things about you, yourself, and your life that even people who raised you don't know about you. You know, people who you grew up with, they think, oh, I know you completely. We spent every day together in 5th grade. They don't know you now, right? We are ever changing, ever evolving. And people who are constantly trying to control you, to force you into something, to guilt trip you, to manipulate you, you know, the Bible talks about manipulation being as if it's like the sin of witchcraft, okay? Witchcraft, not in any sort of positive sense at all, right? Sorcery, that's stuff that is an affront to God. It's not spoken about favorably in the Bible at all. So if you're a believer and you're letting people control you and manipulate you, then you're not walking in the highest level you could be walking in. You're not fully embracing your God identity. You are a child of the King. And it's easy to say that, you know, as a believer, the Bible talks about you're a child of the King. You're God's chosen one. You're a royal priesthood. Okay, so a lot of times in our modern day and age, we're removed from the notion of kings, unless you're in England or places where there's still kings and queens and all that. You don't realize they are the sovereign ones. They make the decision. It's not like here in America where there's a democratic voting system and we all get to cast a vote and we all get a say. It's not like that in God's kingdom. God is king. He has made us his priests, his princes, his princesses. And if you really took to heart that you were a child of the King, you would not allow yourself to be bullied, to be pushed around, to be talked down to be manipulated, to be controlled. Do you understand that? When you're allowing people to do that, they're diminishing you and the person God made you to be. So there's going to come a time in your life where you're not going to take that anymore. And it doesn't mean you're going to be yelling, kicking, screaming, telling them off. It's almost like you've unburied a treasure. And you're going to treat that treasure as something precious. Right? If you dug up a chest, a sunken chest from a pirate ship, and it was filled with gold and jewels and antique, well, you have to realize that is who you are. You are very precious in God's eyes. You are unique, you are one of a kind, and you are a treasure. You're not going to take that treasure and throw it on the ground. You're not going to trade that treasure for a McDonald's sandwich. What? Right? It's of more value than that. And you have to realize your value in order to be treated the way you need to be treated, right? So if somebody of high importance came to your home to visit, who's somebody that would be really like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is coming to visit. You know how you'd clean the place, you'd do this or do that. You may be the most mild, unassuming person, quiet, never say anything. But if someone you really cared about, or if someone who was a big, important person in your eyes, whether that's a famous singer, a celebrity, or maybe it's your baby sister, maybe it's your baby brother. If someone started manipulating them, trying to guilt trip them, pointing out stuff they did in the past, you would be quick to say, hey, you leave them alone. Don't talk to them that way. But yet, you're allowing yourself to be talked to that way. When you stand up for yourself, it doesn't have to be from a place of defensiveness, like, don't you know I'm a child of the king? Because that's not being humble, right? There's something about humbleness and humility where you know who you are. You don't have to point it out. You don't have to tell everyone you're so great. It's your realization in who you are that determines what you allow in your life, right? So hold your head up high, and if you need to have a discussion with someone about how they're treating you, then you do it. You do it, but you do it with integrity. You don't do it all worked up and all flustered or angry or crying, or you're always trying to make me feel bad about myself. You're always trying to get me to, whatever it is. You cannot allow them to pressure you or feel guilty. As a matter of fact, it's impossible for someone to make you feel bad about yourself, to make you feel guilty, because those emotions are a choice. I know it sounds crazy. There was a time in my life where I didn't believe that or couldn't receive that or it wasn't there yet. Yes, sometimes people can throw a dart and it can sting a little, but you pull that dart out immediately. Remember God's word to heal that up, pray to heal that up. But it can only make you feel bad if you keep it in. That dart can only make you feel yucky and guilty if you don't pull it out and clean the area. Oh, you called me worthless loser who can't make any right decisions? Okay, well, drop it. Heal it, pray, seal it up. And then that's dropped to the floor, right? You don't keep it in. You don't let that wound fester. You don't keep dwelling on it. Are they right? Am I a worthless loser? Do I make all the wrong decisions? The pain is actually not from what they said. The pain is not from the dart they sent. The pain is you dwelling on it, letting it fester, not pulling it out, not cleaning the area, letting it get rust, getting, tetanus from it, whatever it is. So people can say whatever they're going to say. And then if it's a relationship you want to keep and you want to maintain, then you're going to have to stand up for yourself. You're going to have to calmly speak your mind, and you're going to have to lay some ground rules and say, I know you're looking out for me, and I know in the past I have made some mistakes, but I'm a new person, and I've learned a lot, and I'm growing a lot, and I'm doing what I believe is best for my life. and I'm sure you maybe see things a different way, but I need you to just trust me. You know, if we're going to maintain a relationship, I can't have you nitpicking everything I do. I can't have you bringing up my past, because that's not even me anymore. I'm a different person than last year. I'm a different person than 6 months ago. So, you know, if you can respect that, we can keep being friends, we can keep our relationship. But if you won't, I'm going to have to say goodbye, because I will not be berated. I will not be talked down to. I will not be yelled at. I will not be finger pointed. That doesn't help me, and it doesn't help you. And I'm not even respecting you if I allow you to treat me that way. That's not even respectful of you, because then I'm allowing that negative trait you have to perpetuate. I'm allowing you to believe you can speak to another child of God that way. So if you can't respect that, then we're going to have to say goodbye. And you don't do that from a place of superiority. You just do it from, this is what is. This is the situation. You don't have to add any value on it of, this is good, this is bad, I'm good, I'm the victim, you're bad, you're bullied. It doesn't have to be any of that. They are not at the place you're at. So take it from me, because I have been down this road. That conversation is initially scary, but you are going to feel so, so good. And it's only scary if you keep telling yourself it's scary. Do you see, if we're putting some kind of a value on it, think of it, instead of scary, think of it as being uncomfortable. If you're not used to standing up for yourself, it will be uncomfortable at first, but you must. And remember, you would do that for your baby brother or baby sister. You would do it if you had an honored guest come to your home. You wouldn't allow others to speak to them in the way they're speaking to you. So it's time for you to treat yourself like an honored and special guest and say, no more. I'm worth more than that. Live true, love hard, shine bright. Hey there, it is Katherine Norland. I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys think that this video would bless somebody else or that they need to hear it, please hit the share button. And there's a little bell button too, where you can be notified whenever I have a video that comes out, so you don't miss a thing. I appreciate you guys. Remember, always live true, love hard, shine bright, and I will see you in the next video.